What up guys, Tough Thumbs here. It's my second take on this video. Last one didn't work. So I got really sick stuff for you tonight. First off, got this guy for sale. It's fixed, perfectly centered, finally. Had some problems with the centering on it. This is a Tonto Sprint Run with the gray scales. Everything's still with it. Brand new in box. It's got the jade with the Anzo pattern and forest green liners and the mosaic pins on both sides. And yeah, this is a $200 knife, guys. So the person that owns it wants to sell it for $250. I think it's a pretty good deal because the pimp job was $80, and so basically get a brand new Tonto box, scales, and a pimp job for $250. So please email me if you want it. I'll get it out to you right away. Anyway, also I got this guy here. I got this at the knife show. This is not mine. It's actually a dealer that knows Anonymous. He had a couple of them sitting around there, and he thought they were a little bit too heavy, and you know, the lock bars were very sticky. So he gave them to us to fix, and gave them to me for pimp jobs too. This is a Crusader Forge, freaking tank of a knife. This thing is insane. Flipper, not the most ergonomic thing in the world, but you know, it's got this nice flipper here to guard your finger from going up on it. Like you see, it's just absolutely nutty knife. The edge is razor sharp. Cool knife though. I've always wanted to handle one of these things, but it's pretty sweet. But this thing is massive. You can see it next to the Tonto. Basically dwarfs it. It's huge. But yeah, you guys will be seeing this thing pimped in a little while. But also, right when I got to the knife show, guys, I saw something that I had to have. I right away saw it and was like, dude, hold that for me, just so I could look around a little bit, but I knew I was gonna get it. And it is a Jens Anzo Kirdashi neck knife. I've always wanted an Anzo neck knife. It's S30V with the grooves in the handle, 2 holes in the lanyard hole. It's freaking nice and thick with that awesome logo. That really perfect stonewash that he does. Love it. Thing is freaking insanely sharp. But so that kind of completes my like perfect combo neck knife and a folder by Anzo. Maybe a fixed blade down the road, but he doesn't have many, so who knows. But first up on the pimp list is our buddy Jason Brous. BrousBlades.com. Check out his YouTube channel, guys. He's got some cool stuff on there. He's a really nice guy. He's got some really innovative ideas. The Silent Soldier neck knife is definitely one of my favorites, and I hear he's coming out with a folder, a Silent Soldier folder, which would be freaking sweet as hell. But here are the original scales for the Triple Threat, and they're sweet. They got that machine look, which isn't my thing, but definitely really cool. Definitely done on a mill. Sweet scales. But wanted something different done on these for my buddy Sean, Mr. Poop, and I think it's definitely a really cool addition to a really sweet knife. So then you got the crazy ass grind on this thing. Super thick. I forget what kind of steel this is. I think it's ATS or something, I don't know. But you got orange scales with the reptilian pattern, with the black liners matching the black hardware. Looking sexy as hell. Love this thing. A bit of a more organic grip on it, you know. It's got more contours in it. This one's more machined and like angled. Very comfortable though, actually. This knife is pretty damn comfortable. I'm not knocking the original scales at all. But this is just something that's slightly different. They're not much thicker than the original at all, but they definitely got a more hand-friendly grip on it, just because I like the reptilian pattern a lot. And the black looks real sick on there. So Jason, man, you want to send me some of your custom stuff for some work? It's gonna look sweet. I think the orange definitely complements the triple threat for sure. You see that really cool sandblast on there, just a sweet ass knife. And yeah, the scales don't affect the retention of the sheath. Really nice fit. That's how tough it was before. I think it's a break-in, but I like that on a sheath. And these sheaths are awesome, man. I think his wife does them. They're pretty well done, though. I definitely like the sheaths a lot. Definitely hold up perfectly. But that's the Brous, Jason Brous triple threat. I think it's sweet. I think they got them on Neptune Knives and a bunch of the other websites. I love Hunter Orange. And so next up, guys, you may recognize these scales here. My buddy Sean, another Sean, has quite the addiction to getting scales put on his... Hold on a second, I'm about to... Hey man, making a video right now about your knife. I'll call you back in a sec. Anyway, so he's got quite the addiction to getting new clothes for his Hinderer. And this is definitely, with these three, and then you got the factory scale, I don't think you could want any more. But this is probably one of my most ambitious projects yet. It's something I will never do again, ever. I worked very, 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 very hard on this, and the results were freaking phenomenal, in my opinion. Now, I talked to Mr. Hinderer at the knife show, and he wasn't too happy. I showed him my scales, and I guess he felt a little bit threatened by them, which is, yeah, so maybe a good thing. I mean, that's the feedback I got. Maybe he was, you know, a little bit threatened by my scales compared to his, but, you know, not knocking Hinderer, but I don't think he needed to get bent out of shape like he did. But, you know, I talked to him, and he was cool with it, and, you know, he understood, but he just doesn't want me to do it anymore. Legally, I can, so, but, you know, I've only done one or two. So it's not like I'm like dipping into his money at all, but I'm a firm believer that you buy something, you know, you buy yourself a truck or a Honda or, you know, anything, and you want to put rims on it, you should be able to, you know what I mean? So you spend this much money on a knife like an XM24, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want with it. But I'm not going out there like just making piles of Hinderer scales and then selling them like, you know, constantly. But anyway, so this pimp job is ridiculous. So I experimented with some anodizing, so obviously you know it's titanium. So you got the Hinderer blade, custom. Then you got this really sweet titanium with the really crazy anodizing job. I can control the anodizing now, I have a machine for doing it. So you can see it's like dark purple and blue with like a brownish gold in between each peak. And kind of brushed it a little bit with sandpaper to get the kind of like a titanium steel look on there, a little bit more worn, which I really like. But I just think the thing is just gorgeous. I really like this anodizing job. You can see some of the machining marks, but it's the best I can do. This was definitely one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to do when it comes to pimping. And Sean, you're definitely one lucky man, because this thing is just freaking smooth as hell. Surprisingly, this scale lightened it up compared to the G10 with the liner. It seems lighter to me. I mean, I may just be because I've been handling this thing, but it just feels amazing. It's got that really nice and contoured around here where you'd want it. So, and this was basically to match this guy. And this, you know, they're not as deep and wide, but they're very, very close. You can see just the slightest bit, but you still get, you know, your fingers nicely in each one of these little grooves, so it feels nice still. And you see the blade is perfectly centered. Now it's thicker on the left side, so if I just cover up that, you can see the centering. It's basically, the shadows are getting on there. Basically perfect, minus the shadow making it look off center. But you know, the action's smooth as usual. Lockup is nice and early. Rock solid, no blade play. Screws are all nice and countersunk in there. This one's deep down in the groove, so it looks like it's popping up, but you know, everything's nice and flush with the peaks. They actually come higher than all screws, so you won't be scratching it if you lay on this side. But this one is just sweet as hell. And if you don't like the anodizing, then I can easily change it to whatever you want, pretty much. I'm still getting down like how to change it to a certain color, but the way I did this, guys, if you knew how I did this, you would think I was absolutely out of my freaking mind. Basically shouldn't have any fingers left, but I do. And this is thicker titanium than I usually get. And not as thick as this stuff, but it's the thickest I could possibly find. And yeah, so that is the most pimped Hinderer ever. Sick as hell. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will be having lots of pimp videos this week. So get your porn fix every night. But anyway, guys, have a nice night. Peace.